to guide MPhil and PhD students in the Department of Commerce and Business Management, Usmania University, and was awarded 9 PhDs and 14 MPhils.
ಟಚ್ ಮಾಡೋರ ಸರ್
Not audible.
Madam, Radhika madam, అది ఆగిపోయింది, స్టాప్డ్.
మేడం మాట్లాడట్లేదు.
Not audible.
సబిత మేడం,
ఆడియో వీడియో ఓకే ఉంది మేడం. మేడం మాట్లాడారు.
అదే కాల్ అదే పిలుస్తున్నాను. సబిత మేడం,
Is there any power cut?
I'll make a call and I'll find out, sir. I'll share.
ఎగ్జిట్ అయిపోయింది. నువ్వు వెళ్ళిపోయినవారా? నువ్వు ఉండు, అందులోనే కోహోస్ట్ చేయాలి దానికి.
రాధిక మేడం, మీది మ్యూట్ లో పెట్టుకోండి, అన్మ్యూట్.
Dr. Kagipati,
sir,
your backside tree is moving. That is called, I think, coconut tree.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
So when you will come back to Hyderabad?
Most probably by evening today. I am planning to come over here.
So be careful about. Be careful with Corona.
Yeah. I took all measures.
Traveling by flight.
Yeah, exactly.
I think maybe power cut. Huh?
Might be. I heard that there are rains in Warangal. Is it true?
Huh?
Yes, sir. There are lots of rains. Actually, we are not having power. Madam also, she is doing by inverter. I'm just trying to reach her. Within 1-2 minutes, I'll be back, sir.
Okay, that doesn't matter. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
No hurry. Systematically, you please plan for it.
Yes.
Because we can't help for the technicalities.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for understanding.
No hurry. If you hurry, things will be out.
Yeah.
Sir.
Dr. Kasturi, how are you?
Fine. Kagipati, background trees are moving since yesterday.
Oh, wonderful.
The waves of the water will not stop. Just go on moving.
Since yesterday it's moving and with the same tempo.
Oh. So when is your program, Dr. Kasturi?
Sir?
When is your program?
Mine is on 20th, sir. 20.
Okay. Very good.
Now please send the link to me.
Sure, sir. Sure.
I will attend.
Sure, sir.
It is for 1 hour.
I don't know. So far, they have not sent any link. Now I am on that job preparing PPTs.
Your
if
job
they
is
send
over.
a link, then immediately I will share it to everybody.
Madam.
Very good. Nice.
It is ready?
Yes.
Sorry, sir. Sorry for the interruption, sir.
Proceed.
Ah,
No
okay,
worry.
thank you, sir.
Proceed.
Sir has acted as a chairperson at the 5th International Conference on Contemporary Issues in Agriculture, Engineering, Management, IT, and Life Sciences at the University of Peradeniya, Sri Lanka, held during 11th to 15th May 2017. He has acted as a chairperson at 3rd International Conference on Emerging Strides in Innovations and Skill Enhancement, Sustainable Development, a key focus organized by Asian Institute of Technology, Bangkok, Thailand, held on 9th May 2018. He also recognized research supervisor to guide PhD scholars in the Department of Commerce and Management, Bharatiya University, Coimbatore, and Kanchi University, Kanchipuram, Tamil Nadu. He served as program officer of the National Service Scheme for 5 years and conducted several programs and received outstanding awards. He brought 55 lakh rupees under CSR from GAIL towards the construction of college building at Government Degree College, Tandur, and also brought 3.70 crores under CSR from Aurobindo Pharma Company Limited towards the consultation of college building at Government Degree College, Patancheru. Dr. Malyadri served as principal for more than a decade in an affiliated colleges of Usmania University and Rayalaseema University, and also served as director in a JNTUH affiliated engineering college. He got an award of senior fellowship from ICSSR New Delhi and is presently as a ICSSR senior fellow at Center for Economic and Social Studies, Hyderabad. He is also serving as inspecting authorities appointed by Ministry of Minority Affairs, Government of India to conduct inspections of the NGOs, institutions, skill development center across the country for 2 years. He received several outstanding awards for his academic achievements. Sir is a state-level Best Teacher awardee in the year 2008, honored by Government of Andhra Pradesh. His current research interests include CRM, bank marketing, finance, rural development, human resource management, entrepreneurial development, and strategic management. Sir has visited 300 foreign countries. This is a brief profile of Dr. Malyadri, sir. Thank you, sir. We welcome you once again for this FDP program, sir. Now I request sir to take over the session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Savita Devi Garu. In fact, it is an immense pleasure for me to associate with the college for this webinar. I really appreciate the team of several faculty members, Mrs. Savita Devi, Mrs. Radhika Devi, headed by under the coordinatorship of Dr. Shirisha. Even though it is a first program to the college, but however, excellently they are organizing, and now they got rich experience in organizing many programs in future. I really appreciate the interest and commitment towards conduct of webinar through the, I appreciate the principal of this college. Now, without wasting the time, I would like to start the program. As you are aware, for the last 2 days, I think you might be enjoyed with the 2 sessions. Now, this session is report writing skills. This session is useful to many type of faculty members. Say, for example, the research scholars. Yes, research scholars, those who are doing PhD, they will get the benefit by attending this session. And the faculty members and also the senior faculty members who got a research project, this session is undoubtedly helpful, because research project means conducting a study and finally writing a report. Even for PhD thesis also same, and even for research project is also same. So therefore, it is useful to all the researchers In fact, research is a fashion to me. Even though I published many number of articles in various international journals, including Scopus Index journals, I have a habit of reviewing the articles every day for various journals. It is all interest and commitment towards research. Now, the research project, as I told you, the research project report, how we have to write it, what is the procedure, what are the steps, and what is the research project outline. These are all the things which we will discuss at length so that it is benefited to the research scholars, senior faculty members, undoubtedly. Now, I will share the PPT now. Just a minute. Yes. I hope after listening this session, I am confident that all the research scholars who are doing PhD, they may get a full confidence. Yes, I can complete my PhD, I can submit my thesis successfully. You may get such good confidence. That's one part. With regard to senior faculty members, or the faculty members who are doing PhD, or the senior faculty members who are carrying research project, yes, the senior faculty members will also be get a good confidence for writing a research project after successful completion of the field work. If you have any doubts, any clarifications, even offline also, you are most welcome. If you can chat with my WhatsApp number, please make a note of my WhatsApp number and the email ID. Definitely, I already told you that research is my passion. I am willing to offer sessions at any time in future also. Okay, now I will go to the. In this session, I am going to discuss about meaning of research project, funding agencies for research projects, because before noting down about report writing, you should have a glance, you have an idea about various funding agencies for research projects. Because nowadays, majority of the faculty members are searching for funds for getting projects. So undoubtedly, it is a big problem for the faculty members to get funds from various government agencies. So therefore, you are dire need to know various funding agencies for getting research projects. And next, project report writing skills. And finally, research project report layout and what is the procedure to write various chapters. That I will discuss at length now. Please, the research scholars may note that even this also, a project writing means even PhD thesis writing also. There is no difference of research project or PhD thesis. So the fresh research scholars, those who are doing PhD, it is benefited, and the faculty members will also get benefited. Senior faculty members who are having PhD projects, it also be benefited. Now, we will have an idea about research project. Research project is a scientific investigation. Usually, by adopting different statistical techniques, we can analyze the data, we can interpret the data, and we'll come out with different policy measures. Even for research project or for PhD thesis, I already told you there is no difference. Right? And the research project can be defined as researching about various issues, and it is also fact finding, so that we'll come out a new things, how we may be able to provide good inputs to the society for the development, how we may be able to provide good suggestions or good policy implications to the government, so that government may take necessary action for the development of the country. Next, to meet a specific goal, yes, there is one goal set by the sponsoring agency. That goal we have to achieve. Next, involves group of people. Yes, definitely. If you want to carry a research project or a research study or field work, there is a need for the involvement of group of people. That means if you want to collect the information from the respondents at grassroots level, you are supposed to take assistance from various people. You have to meet the different officials. You have to meet the respondents. You have to discuss with them. You have to get various new things from the respondents, and then finally you come out with good information. You may collect lot of information with empirical evidence. Yes, that is most important. You need to collect empirical evidence. Only based upon the empirical evidence, you may be able to come out with specific policy implications. That policy implications are undoubtedly useful to the government or the society of the development. That's all about the research project. So finally, what I conclude that research project or a PhD thesis, no issue, both are same. You are taking one problem, conducting a study, analyzing, interpreting the data, finally you are preparing the report. That may be project report or that may be PhD thesis. Next. What are the funding agencies for research projects? Yes. Nowadays, majority of the research scholars, faculty members, senior faculty members, always searching for the funding agencies for getting research projects. That is a dire need of a faculty member who is working in government and aided colleges. Because unaided colleges, I think they are not eligible for getting financial assistance from various funding agencies. However, if the unaided colleges are recognized with the UGC 2F12B, they are eligible to apply for research projects from various agencies. Among all the agencies, the best, the big agency is University Grants Commission. University Grants Commission, UGC. UGC is providing major research projects, minor research projects. Minor research project means up to 5,000. We may call it as a minor research project. Above 5,000, it may go to 50 lakhs. It is a major research project. Next, another scheme also implemented by UGC. Last year, it was announced and invited the applications from various faculty members. That is called STRIDE, Scheme for Transdisciplinary Research for India's Developing Economy. This is another scheme. Like this, UGC has initiated many schemes for the various faculty members. Next, ICSSR, Indian Council of Social Science Research. For this also, for the last few years, it has given many notifications for inviting research projects, major and minor research projects, general research project scheme, IMPRESS. Last year, ICSSR has invited the big project, Impactful Policy Research in Social Science, to promote policy research in social science. So this is also a biggest scheme implemented by ICSSR. Next, special research project scheme. Special research project means time to time ICSSR is announcing short-term projects. Recently, ICSSR has invited research projects on pandemic issue. Recently, ICSSR invited for a short-term project, COVID-19 and pandemic issues related to social sciences. It is only for social sciences. ICSSR is meant for only social sciences. Science faculty are not allowed to apply any financial lessons from ICSSR. Next, collaborative research project scheme. That is also another scheme implemented by ICSSR. Basically, ICSSR is having 6 regional centers. One is Eastern Regional Center, Kolkata. It covers surrounding states. Northeastern Regional Center, Shillong. It covers nearby states. Northwestern Regional Center, Chandigarh. It also covers nearby the states. Northern Regional Center, New Delhi. Southern Regional Center, Hyderabad. Western Regional Center, Mumbai. These centers are catered to the needs of the research scholars with regard to study grants, short-term research projects, and also conferences, seminars up to 5 lakhs. These regional centers may take care of providing financial assistance to the scholars, research scholars in the case of study grant, and short-term projects, seminars, conferences in the case of faculty members. Next, NABARD, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development also announced inviting the proposals from faculty members, non-governmental organizations related to rural development, related to banks, commercial banks financing, regional rural banks financing, cooperative banks financing. These are all the issues which they take care of. With regard to Reserve Bank of India, also every year they announce, if you can observe, Reserve Bank also provides financial assistance for research projects. ICHR, Indian Council of Historical Research, it is all related to history. Those who belong to history, they can watch ICHR regularly. You please go through the website regularly. Every year they also announce the projects. Next, ICPR, Indian Council of Philosophical Research. This is also related to philosophy related issues. They provide financial assistance for research projects. Next, Indian Institute of Banking and Finance. Yes, this is called IIB, located in Mumbai. They also announce regularly, every year. They announce research projects from the faculty members, from the bankers that they care of. Next, National Council for Women. Recently, National Council for Women has given advertisement for inviting applications from the faculty members for taking up research projects on women related. You can take women empowerment. You can take on women entrepreneurship. So on those issues, or any harassment, women harassment, or any socio-economic problems of women, like such areas, you can chase and you can prepare the proposal, submit to NCW. Next, Bureau of Police Research and Development. This also located at Delhi. They provide every year. Last year also they announced research projects. They also provides the financial assistance for the issues related to police. Let's say, for example, the problems of police women, the problems of police, or any legal issues that they will take care of. Like that, National Human Rights Commission. National Human Rights Commission also provides financial assistance to the faculty members and any NGOs with regard to human rights. Next, Rajiv Gandhi National Institute of Youth Development. This is located at Perambudur in Tamil Nadu. Those who are interested to take up any issue related to youth problems, any issues, the RGNIYD will take care of in providing financial assistance for the research projects. Next, Indian Council of World Affairs, ICWA. This also every year announce the various issues related to foreign related issues, the relationship of how the India with Pakistan, or how India with China, like issues they also invite for research proposals. Next, AICT. All India Council of Technical Education. It is basically provides financial assistance to the basically to engineering, science and engineering, and only. But for MBA also, AICT provides financial assistance under Research Promotion Scheme, RPS. Research Promotion Scheme, the projects, the financial assistance may be provided up to 50 lakhs. Next, Association of Indian Universities. Yes, this also provides financial assistance on educational issues. Next, NAC. If any faculty member wants to conduct any training programs, NAC will provide financial assistance. In addition to that, research projects also, the funding may be provided by the NAC. Next, ministries of various departments. Yes, Ministry of HRD, Ministry of Rural Development, Government of India, and Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Ministry of Home Affairs, Ministry of Women and Child Welfare Department. All these ministries, every year they have some research fund that's called R&D fund. They provide, if you can go through the ministry website, all ministries websites which are related to your area, you can choose it. Regularly go through the websites. Definitely you can catch hold of one research project. Next, economics and research departments, nationalized banks. You know, every nationalized bank is having one economic research department in their head offices. So they always focus about the customer service, how e-customer service, customer relationship management, CRM, like all these issues which the commercial banks or that is nationalized banks may provide financial assistance for research projects. Next, funding agencies for science and engineering. Of course, among the participant, if any science related faculty members are there, they can go through these funding agencies. Of course, engineering also, some of the participants, if at all there, these are the funding agencies for research projects. Atomic Energy Regulatory Board. Yes, especially for mass subject holders, they can watch the website of this AIRB and ARDB. Next, BRNS, Board of Research in Nuclear Science, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. Crores of rupees are they are provided to the faculty members. You might be wondered, they may be able to offer 1 crore project sometimes, 2 crores projects also. If you can take the case of DRDO, Department of Atomic Energy, Department of Biotechnology, Department of Science and Technology, DST, Department of Chemicals and Petrochemicals, Ministry of Chemicals, and it comes under Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers, and DEIT, Department of Electronics. These are also ongoing. There is no last date. Ongoing. If you can open websites, you can apply for any project if you belong to science and engineering. Like this, Department of Coal, Department of Ocean Development, Department of Science, DSIR, Indian Council of Agriculture Research. It is all agriculture related, and Indian Council of Medical Research is all related to medical. Indian Meteorological Department, INSA, Indian National Science Academy, Indian Space Research Organization, Naval Research Board, Petroleum Conservation Research Association, PCRA, CERB. This is also a big agency, Science and Engineering Research Board. Always they are inviting research proposals throughout the year in different schemes they announce and they invite for research projects from engineering and science. Tata Institute of Fundamental Research is also every year they announce the research projects. Next, international funding agencies. Yes, Association of Commonwealth Universities. It's all related to international education issues. Bradley Foundation Grant Program, British Council, Fulbright Commission, Harry Frank foundation. Like that, many international agencies are there. You can also work out from the international agencies. And many international agencies. Finally, the Social Science Humanities Research Council. If you belong to social science, you can approach the funding agencies. Any funding on international funding agencies also you can approach and submit an application. At national level, we discussed at length about the various funding agencies. At national level, many ministries, almost all ministries, Government of India is providing financial assistance to various projects related to their subjects. Now, in latest policy, that is new education policy 2020, the Government of India has decided to bring all the agencies into one fold. That is National Research Foundation, NRF. NRF is headed by the Prime Minister. So, Prime Minister is the chairman for National Research Foundation. Crores of rupees are pouring towards research projects. So, that is the future policy. I think we can. You are all aware that even UGC also comes under the NRF for research projects. That's all about the various funding organizations. And finally, my appeal is funding is not a problem for doing research. You can tap anywhere, any funding agency. If you are going on, observe the various websites at a national and international level. Definitely, you may be able to select one agency and apply and submit the proposals. Next. Now, we'll come to report writing. So I hope you might be got some awareness about the various funding agencies, about the various research projects, so that you might be try your level best for attempting any organization for funding. First of all, now I will talk about report writing. Report writing is a statement of the results of an investigation or of a matter on which definite information is required. As a matter of fact, you can conduct a study. Basically, you require empirical evidence. Where there is an empirical evidence, definitely it is having more relevance, because at the grassroots level, you may get an evidence by contacting the respondents through questionnaire or schedule. Then you may be able to get some evidence, and you can you can analyze and interpret, and you can come out with good deliberations, and you can come out with some policy implications. Based upon that, you can prepare a report. Significance of report writing. Report writing is a major component of the research study. It is, as I told you that, okay, you have collected a lot of literature under review of literature. You have collected various information by referring various journals, books, online, offline, but it is important that you have to put it in writing in a good manner. for successful completion of report writing of report. Next, a report should be authenticated by the authority. Yes. See, you can write the report with the substantiate the information. That is, your field data should be given as a source, that is authority. Yes, so you are supposed to provide source for every table, because that data is collected from the field. So therefore, it is authenticated with the quoting of a source. Next, special attention in report writing. Yes, you have collected a lot of literature, you have collected a lot of data, you have interpreted the data with the help of the statistical package SPSS, but you are supposed to provide special attention in writing. Writing part is most important. I can speak, but I am not a good writer. I am expert in good writing, but I may not be able to speak. That is the problem now. A researcher, he may collect the data, he may collect the information, and finally he may fail in writing. That is a big problem. So writing skills are most important. Report writing skills are most important. To write something, to write some facts. Next, a lengthy report is not necessary. Yes. Nobody encourages the lengthy report. If you write 400 pages for PhD thesis, no use. Some scholars or some faculty members think that if we write more pages, it is more value. No, not at all. You confine to your results, you confine to the specific studies, you confine to the suggestions related to your findings, not general suggestions. Nobody required general suggestions. General suggestions are available online. If you search in Google, you will get number of suggestions. No use. On the basis of empirical evidence, you are supposed to provide suggestions. Right? Report should be brief and compact document. Yes, it should be brief. Every chapter should be brief. For PhD thesis, what I feel, 200 and 200, between 200 and 250 pages are enough with all chapters. Even 200 pages are also enough. Even for project also say. We should give complete picture of problem. Yes, you have to focus the complete problem and finally solution and investigation. Yes. See, you have done very, very scrupulously with regard to various issues. You made an attempt to gone through the problem at grassroots level. You checked meticulously a particular issue. That should be written very, very effectively. And finally, you are supposed to provide solution and investigation. Next. What are the objectives of report writing? Understand the purpose of a report. Yes. Before writing the report, first you have to understand what is the purpose. Without knowing the purpose, you can't write a report. Plan a report. Yes, definitely. Before writing a report, you have some plans. Plans means first chapter, what you are going to focus. In second chapter, what you are going to focus. Such information you should keep in mind and understand the structure of a report. That's also another objective. Collect information for your report. Yes. You might be collected some information. Now, you started writing, but sometimes while analyzing the data, some data may be required. At that time, you may not be able to go to the field work. It is impossible. Confine to that data, come out. That's all. No need of again going for field work, because you have done a lot of work now. Again, don't be in hurry. Don't be in worry. Organize your information. Yes. So you have collected a lot of information. You might be organized in different aspects. Maybe review of studies, maybe uh, you know, profile of respondents, like that. Segregate, present data effectively, understand how to lay out your information in an appropriate way. So you must definitely understand how it could be layout. We will discuss about the layout in the next chapters. The slide, certain guidelines. Yes, it should be an objectivity. Technical language to be minimized. Yes. In your report, don't use technical language. It should be understandable. It should be readable. Every reader should be comfortable while reading your thesis or project report. Don't use the technical language. Of course, you use research language. That's most important. Usage of active voice and present tense. That is also most important. Revise and rewrite. Yes. In one draft, it cannot be finalized. You have to write second draft, and finally you can go to third draft also, rewrite again. Because every time we may get some additional addings. Confidentiality of the data. Yes. You have collected the data from the respondents, that should be kept in confidential. That is most important. Because while collecting the information from the respondents, you say that this information will be kept confidential. Then only the respondents may provide data to you. So always confidential. You should maintain the confidential. Otherwise, you are not a good researcher. You have to maintain some ethical standards. Next, originality. Yes. Your thesis or your project must be original. You are not supposed to copy anyway. And after all, when you visited the field, when you collected the data, when you got empirical evidence, no need of any duplication. Original information you may be submitting. Layout as per the objectives. Yes, you have some set of objectives that we will discuss in the next slides. Solution for intellectual problems, that also you take care of about the solutions. Say you might be discussed at length with various experts. You might be taken, you might be received various views from the respondents, from the experts. That information may be added, and you may be able to provide some solutions. Finally, logical analysis. Logical analysis also most important, so that you may be able to provide good suggestions, good inputs. Please note that suggestions should not be, general suggestions should not be given in your thesis or in your draft. Only based upon your findings, only based upon your empirical evidence, suggestions may be given. Don't think that every researcher is in a hurry that, of course, I have to provide at least 20 suggestions, at least 30 suggestions. No, not at all. For your PhD thesis or project, concrete suggestions, 10 is enough. 12 is enough. No need. No need to provide hopeless suggestions. Provide concrete suggestions which are implementable. It should be implementable, not just theoretical. Next. Types of report writing. This I need not tell it. It is a self-explanatory about the laboratory reports. You can go to laboratory, you can test it, you will be given the report. Technical reports like research study reports, reports of work placement or industrial visit. If you can visit the industry, you can give the report. That is another report. Next, reports of field trip. If you can go to field trip, you have to give a report to your principal. That is also another type of report. These are all the different types of reports. What are the different steps in writing report. First, preparing a draft. Yes. After the collection of various information, after preparing the questionnaire or schedule, after collecting the information from the respondents, analyze, interpret, come out with some rough ideas with regard to suggestions, and then we prepare a draft. It is called as rough draft. Then come to reviewing the draft. Yes, after the draft, rough draft, then again you go through it. Thoroughly go through it. If you can go through it, you will get some ideas. Please go through it on hard copy, not on computer. If you can go through the computer, you may not be able to, sometimes you may not be able to revise it properly. If it is in hard copy, definitely you can come out with a number of ideas because you are comfortably sitting, you are even comfortably on the bed. You can have some thinking to suggest. Next, author's purpose. Yes, what is your purpose in writing the report? That should be taken care. And the reader's profile. Yes, who are the readers of our thesis, or who are the readers of our project report? You should keep in mind in preparing the report. Next, content. Yes, content is also most important. The relevant content, providing relevant content, providing quality content is most important. Don't provide from getting any source from other journals or books. Don't copy it because plagiarism is also a big problem now. Next, length. Length, we discussed about length. We should not be lengthy. Language and tone. Yes, language should be balanced from first page to last page. Same language. Don't be fluffy language. A good language should be, an average language should be most important for the report. Appearance. Yes. The report should also be appear very, very good looking. Compact. As I already told you, you should not go more than 250 pages. It should not go 220 pages. If it goes more than 250, it may not be said to be good looking also. If it is a bulky, a bulky people we can't see. Only the lean people, maybe sometimes they are good looking. Like that, your report also not very lean, not bulky. This will be next. Proofreading. Proofs are meant to be corrected, not edited. Yes. Proof means already finalized. And you have to check, but not editing. Editing is not that stage. Proofreading is not editing stage. Anyway, if required, you can edit the issue. Next, finally, we go for printing. Now, I will brief you about the research project report layout. Yes, this is the layout of a research project or of a PhD thesis. As I already categorically told that nothing to worry, even PhD thesis or project report, there is no difference. Because a PhD scholar is conducting a study, and I'm talking about with empirical evidence, not on the basis of secondary database. Because what I say, secondary database studies are not at all useful, but in finance subject, of course, based upon the secondary data, we can get some implications. What I feel, secondary database studies are post-mortem reports. That is my submission. With regard to empirical evidence, definitely you can get the evidence from the respondents, and finally, you may be able to provide good insights for the policymakers. Okay. Now, this is the layout for the project report or PhD thesis. Title of the project report. First, you have to finalize the title. How to finalize the title, I will discuss in the next slides. In that layout, next declaration, you have to declare that this is prepared by you only and it is not copied, and if at all any plagiarism details, that also be mentioned in that declaration. Next, table of contents. In table of contents, you are supposed to give chapter 1, what is the title, chapter 2, what is the title, chapter 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. You are supposed to provide abstract. Abstract for PhD thesis, I think some of the universities are insisting to write abstract before starting the thesis work. That is first chapter. Before the first chapter, some universities are insisting abstract should be given. For project report, abstract is must. How to write abstract, I will explain you in the future slides. Next, introduction, along with the conceptual framework. Next, review of literature, research methodology, results and discussion, summary, sessions and conclusion. Here, results and discussions. In majority of the PhD thesis, what I observed that many of the scholars are provided one chapter relating to results and discussion. I think that is not good. You may provide 1 or 2 chapters with a title. Say, for example, you are conducting a study on customer perception towards the quality offered by commercial banks, the quality of services offered by the commercial banks. So, what are the problems of commercial banks? What is the service quality? Like that, separate chapters you can allot, and the results and discussions may be discussed at length in that different chapters, but not in one chapter, that is result and discussions. Even project also, better to allocate 1 or 2 chapters relating to primary data. And finally, summary, sessions, conclusion. So this is the last chapter. In this, you have to provide the sessions and conclusion. Next, references, bibliography. If references are given, you are supposed to provide citations. If bibliography is given, it is all general readings. I hope you are all aware about the difference between references and bibliography. References are citations. Wherever you cited in review of literature or any profile of the respondents, wherever you cited that reference by giving numbers, you have to give the list, not alphabetically based upon the number, or you can also give alphabetically. Next, bibliography is a general reading which are not related to citations. General reading related to your subject, related to your topic. Next, final appendix. Appendix is related to, say, for example, you are supposed to provide a schedule or a questionnaire. That should be given at the end. I hope you are all aware about the schedule and questionnaire. I will discuss in separate slide. Now, the complete, you have an idea about the research project report layout. That is the PhD thesis layout, or we may know it as PhD thesis layout. So, this layout, content-wise, I will discuss now, so that the scholars or the faculty, senior faculty members may have an idea, or to motivate to do report writing very, very, very effectively. First of all, we will discuss about the title of the project report, how the title should be. While a project investigator, you may call it as a principal investigator. Suppose if you get the proposal accepted by the funding agency, you may be known as principal investigator. So before sending the proposal, you are supposed to make a title of project, right? So in the beginning itself, the title may be finalized. Even research scholar who are doing PhD, in the beginning itself, the title may be finalized. So generally how title would be like this. Title in 10 to 12 words preferably, because all the words must be Google searchable. That's better. So maximum 10 to 15 words, so that the title may be attractive, the title may be good looking, undoubted, as short as possible and no short. If it is very short, it's good. Our objective is to know the actual problem for which we are going to investigate. That is important. What is the goal? Encourage reader to read the report. Yes, finally, we have to encourage the readers. Readers may be research scholars, readers may be policymakers. We have to encourage. It should be catchy. The title should be catchy. And it should be scientific. Yes, title should always be scientific. With scientific words should be there. Next, specified research problem. Yes, you have to specify the problem related to your topic. That is also important while making a title of the project. Relevance, it should have some relevance. Without any relevance, there is no use. Topic is related to your problem, specific problem. Must not be too narrow or too vague. They should not be vague. Sometimes some faculty members, they may entitle their project title or PhD thesis title may be lengthy. 3 lines, 4 lines, such a lengthy. No, not like that. That is about the title of the research project. Next, abstract. I already told you that for a PhD thesis, abstract is not compulsory, but some of the universities are insisting to write an abstract before starting chapter 1. But for project, it is a must. The principal investigators, please make a note that a project report consists, abstract is the first. Abstract is the first you have to cover, then go to the chapters. Now, how to write abstract? It should not be more than 1500 words. Please make a note of it. This is the advertisement of your project report. Make it interesting and easy to be understood. So while reading abstract, see, your project report will go to the experts. Your PhD thesis will go to the experts. They go through just only 3-4 pages. They go through it and they may finalize. Based upon your abstract, they may take a decision sometimes. Of course, if need, they will go at length, in depth by referring chapters. But take care of in writing abstract beautifully, effectively. Must be accurate and specific. Yes, always it must be accurate. Keep it as brief as possible. Encourage reader to read the report as short as possible and no shortcut. Include contributions, approach, and reasons. Yes. Yeah. Anyway, finally, the abstract consists the issues. These are all the issues you are supposed to cover. First, purpose of the study. Yes. What is your objective? What is your purpose of the study? You have to provide. And the methodology. In 4 or 5 lines or 6 lines, you are supposed to provide the methodology in brief. And what are the main findings, that also be given in brief. Applications of this study, that also be given. Next, originality of the study. Finally, further research. What are the areas to be done for further research? That also be given under the abstract. But it must not cross more than 1500 words. Next. Introduction. Yes. Introduction is the first chapter. In this, you are supposed to provide the conceptual framework also, or sometimes you can separately prepare one chapter on conceptual framework. But however, in introduction, a good introduction with a good motivation is half of your success. Yes, because everybody will read first page, second page, because it should be attractive. What areas you are supposed to cover? The research problem, the motivation of your research on the research problem, the claim of your contribution. What is your claim? That should be given in brief. A summary of your evidence to support your claim, and the significance of your contribution. Finally, an outline of the rest of the report. These are all the issues you are supposed to cover. Next, review of research. After the introduction, you are supposed to provide the various existing studies of the last 10 to 15 years. Not more than that, not tech-wide. Last 10 years or 15 years, enough. Go to previous research. There must be a focus on previous research studies relating to your problem. Relating to your problem, any studies are there, you have to check it out. Shows how your study fills the gap. So if you can go through the previous studies, definitely you may be able to provide or fill the gap. Necessity, what is the need of conduct of the study? If at all already there are studies relating to your area, that is important for covering or studying the previous studies. Set boundaries. Yes, you have to set some boundaries that is related to various aspects which you are going to cover. You may not be able to cover all areas, all aspects. You may cover only a few aspects. So, is that you may mention in limitations of the study. Next, a summary of existing knowledge. Yes, you have to provide various issues relating to the particular study that the knowledge may be provided. A critical evaluation. Yes. So, for collection of literature, for collection of studies, what are the various types of sources? Primary sources, secondary sources, tertiary sources. Primary means you get original source directly from the respondents by conducting interviews, by conducting surveys at the field level. That is primary. Secondary means they are already published. That source is secondary. Tertiary means it is like compiling, digest, index, primary or secondary sources like indexes, handbooks, digest and almanacs. These are all the tertiary sources. So you have to go through all these sources through offline or online. So nowadays offline it is not possible because we are in pandemic situation. Therefore, it is possible only through online. You go through the different websites relating to the different academic database. Right? Next. So, while going through the various studies, you have some questions. What has been done before? Yes, because you started to conduct a study. Before that, any studies are there. What has done before? That you have to check. What have others said? What is the relevance? What is the difference? Agreements, disagreements. Are there any flaws? gaps, you should check it out. And what is the history, research history? See, I already told you that 10 to 15 years, you have to go through various studies by referring good number of journals, good number of articles, good number of reports, good number of books. How to write the literature? See, already we discussed that you have to refer many studies, preferably the latest studies you have to refer it so that you can review the summary of existing work on the topic and the critical evaluation of the previous work, and finally you can come out with specific conclusions about the work done on the data on today on the topic. So of course you may write a particular study, but while referring a study, you are supposed to not to copy the study findings. You have to go through it and write on your own. If you copy it, definitely it attacks plagiarism. So majority of the thesis, what I observed, majority of the project reports, what I observed, the review of literature is undoubtedly attracting the plagiarism more percentage. So therefore, what all these scholars have to do is go through it, read, and finally write on your own. Same with same meaning. Suppose a study conducted by a certain expert or research institute, what are their findings? You go through it, read it several times, write on your own. Then only you can come out without any plagiarism. Setting the objectives of the study. Yes, this is a crucial issue because majority of the research studies, research projects, proposals are not selected. Why? Because the objectives are not properly set. Even PhD thesis also, objectives are not properly set means you must take meticulous care while following these guidelines. Objectives are the steps you are going to take to answer your research questions. You have some various investigational issues. Based upon the investigational issues, you can set the objectives. Emphasize what is to be accomplished. Yes, what you are going to accomplish. Address the more immediate project outcomes. Yes. Make accurate use of concepts. Yes. While writing objectives, you have to use the actual concepts which is related to your problem, your title, your accomplishments. And finally, objectives should be smart. What is smart? Yes, specific. Yes, your objective must be specific, related to your area. It must be measurable. When you talk on a specific objective, that must be measurable by way of secondary data or by way of primary data. Achievable, yes. When you set an objective, you are supposed to achieve that objective with the help of hypothesis or with the help of SPSS. You are supposed to achieve. Next, it should be realistic. And finally, it should be timely. Next. Objectives of the research study must be always to begin with like this. Most of the scholars, they write to coordinate. Being a scholar, how you coordinate at grassroots level, you cannot coordinate. Your job is to investigate, to study, to examine, to evaluate, to analyze, to explore, to assess, to identify, to investigate. So all these objectives might be beginning with like this: examine, evaluate. Such words should be used so that, because setting an objective is an art. Because once you finalize the objectives related to your topic, you are 50% achieved. Your proposal is almost accepted. So while setting the objectives, you must be careful. Some researchers, some research scholars write the objective like this: to understand. They start with like this: to understand. After all, you are writing the report to understand, not investigating. You are not analyzing. Don't write to understand. To understand the concept. No. This is not essay writing competition. So therefore, you should take a meticulous care in writing the objectives by starting with investigational, by starting with like these points already given. Research methods. Under research methodology, you are supposed to provide the area of the study, which area you are going to take up, that area why you are specifically taken. You are supposed to substantiate. Suppose Telangana state you have chosen for the study. Why Telangana state is specifically chosen? You are supposed to substantiate. You are supposed to provide the reason, right? Like that. Quantitative, qualitative research. That also quantitative means that is numerical. Qualitative means the aspects, in words. You are supposed to provide in words. That also be mentioned. Next, primary, secondary.
Methods.
You are supposed to provide.
Methods of
Under the
ಯಾವ book ಬೇಡಲ್ವಾ? Area of study basis.
secondary data.
Quantitative and qualitative research. Primary research methods.
You are supposed to meet the respondents and collect the information. If it is the secondary data, you need not meet the respondents without any questionnaire, without any schedule. You can straight away through online, you can collect the secondary data. Next, sample size and method. Yes, majority of the researchers, they say that sample size is 500 or 400. Why it is 400? Why it is 500? They won't mention that the sampling method. How you have chosen 500 or 400? You have to show the reason. You have to show the formula. That is most important. Otherwise, no use. Next, data collection instrument. Yes. What is the data collection instrument? You are supposed to mention whether it is whether you may collect the data through questionnaire method or scheduled method. You are supposed to mention. Majority of the researchers are failed without mentioning the data collection instrument. They say that it is a questionnaire method. But if you go through the thesis, if you go through the project report, they might be met the respondents, collected the information. Then what we say that is a schedule, not a questionnaire. What is questionnaire? Questionnaire is a document consisting of the questions. Schedule is also same document, but we may call it as in different contexts. Schedule, which is the document, may carried out by the researcher to the respondents, ask the questions, fill the information in that schedule, fill it up, and we may call it as schedule. Questionnaire means questionnaire is mailed to the respondents, or posted or queried it. In turn, the respondents may fill it up and send it back to the researcher. That is called questionnaire. In this matter, most of the researchers are failed in providing the information. They say that it is a questionnaire, but if you go through the thesis, they say that the data is collected by personally meeting with the respondent. They say that schedule, but if you go through the thesis, there is information that that document was already personally met with the respondents and collected the information. It is vice versa. Like that, they are mentioning that's not correct. Next, statistical tools. Yes, statistical tools. What are the statistical tools should be given? Because nowadays, especially in commerce, economics, management, and other subjects, we are supposed to use various statistical tools for analyzing and interpreting the data. results and discussions. You are supposed to present the output of the experiments, model or computation. Don't mix the results with the discussion. So results is different and discussions are different. Extract the principles, relationship, generalizations. Present the analysis, model or theory. Show relationship between the results and analysis, model or theory. Avoid extensive citations. So while we're discussing about the results, I think one or two citations also most important, because what are the previous studies results? What is your present results? You can make differentiations. You can make a citation. That is most important. That majority of the researchers are not attending it. Conclusion. So, in summary, sessions, and conclusion. In that chapter, you are supposed to summarize the total report and provide some sessions. And finally, you are supposed to provide conclusion. See, while you submit the sessions, while you finishing the sessions, I already told you that you are not supposed to provide general sessions. You are supposed to provide only on the basis of the findings, only on the basis of the empirical evidence. Now, finally, after the sessions, you are supposed to provide a conclusion. What are the do's? Briefly summarize some of the main points. Keep it short and sweet. Try to sound authoritative on your subject. Yes. End with a flourish. Don'ts. Don't quote if possible. So while writing the conclusion, don't give any quotations. It's not good. Don't use fluffy language. Suddenly you change the a variety of language is not good. Maintain the balance. Don't lead the reader astray with new material. So while writing the conclusion, don't write new material, new information, not related to the topic. Discuss about the issues, what you have done already, what you have given already, that material you may provide it. Don't focus on minor points or issues in the article. Don't start your conclusion with any of these words. In conclusion, finally, in the end. Because we are writing conclusion, why we need write again in conclusion? Why you need to write finally? Because that is conclusion. In the end, no, without using these words, in conclusion, finally, in the end, you write the conclusion. That is an art. Next, further research. Finally, you have to write the further research. What are the issues not covered in your research area or the further research? What are the future research you are supposed to provide? Some issues are to be discussed in further research. With regard to references, there are different citation styles, formats. American Psychological Association, APA, now 7th edition is there, and remaining citation styles, formats are there. Other areas, other citation styles are related to engineering, medical, other subjects. But with regard to commerce, management, economics, APA style may be adapted for thesis and projects. Now 7th edition is available, APA, that you have to follow. How to write under APA 7th edition. It must be arranged alphabetically. Article format is like this. Suppose I published one article in Scopus Index Journal, that is Q1 under scientific journal ranking. Q1, you know very well, even though it is Scopus, there are 4 Qs, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Q1 means good quality. Q1 means good quality. That is scientific journal index. That is called Q1. In Q1, only few journals are there. Q2, Q3, Q4. So Q3, Q4 impact factor is very low. Q1 is impact factor very high. Next, book format is like this. Conference format like this. Web pager you have to follow like this. And last slide, because the time is up, I won't bore you. What are the tips to avoid plagiarism? Because earlier we discussed a lot of issues with regard to writing the report, but every writing must be our own, based upon the empirical evidence. There should not be any plagiarism. The plagiarism, maybe 5% or 10% is enough. More than that, not good. So how to avoid it? Read and understand the original document. Yes. While you are referring an article, first of all, you have to go through the report thoroughly, understand. Give proper citation to all the sources. Wherever you mention, you give a reference, citation. Citation is most important. Paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is a tool in Google. If you type paraphrasing, you will get. So one sentence is there. You want to make it without attracting the plagiarism. You paste the para and click it. You will get one new para without any plagiarism. But sometimes meanings may be changed. So you have to check it meticulously and then you can draft it. Present your own idea. Yes, always presenting your own ideas is most important. Read and read. If you read more, definitely you can be able to present your own idea. Next, use a plagiarism checker. Yes, in Google, many plagiarism checkers are there. Make use of it. But in plagiarism checker, you cannot get 1 page or 2 pages, more than 1 page. Time to time, go on. If you are having any doubts, you can check through that through Google. Own your insights. Yes, your insights may be provided. Don't be in a hurry. Rewriting. Yes, go on rewriting. Definitely, it can attract the plagiarism. Change the sentence structure. Yes, if you can change the structure of the sentence, or if you can put one comma, it cannot attract plagiarism. Or you divide the sentence. If a big sentence is divided, it cannot attract plagiarism. Again, plagiarism may be reduced. Anyway, now UGC has given stipulation that plagiarism should not cross 25%, but some universities are up 20% only. But Scopus Indexed journals accept only 10%. So anyway, you always be with not more than 10% or 15%. Then you will definitely succeed in writing a report and presenting the report, and finally you will get appreciation. In the case of PhD thesis, your work will be highly commended. That's all about the session. Now open to all for any queries, any doubts. The organizers are requested to unmute if anybody wants to raise the questions.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable speech. I extend my heartfelt thanks to you, sir, for sparing your precious time, and we are really enlightened with various information, sir. So there are so many takeaways from this session, sir, and actually we really learned regarding the various funding agencies, what are the various projects that can be taken up by the faculty, and how to conduct the research, everything. You have given an elaborative session, sir. It is very important for us as we are in teaching field or whatever the field may be. It will be very useful for each and everyone, sir. Thank you once again, sir. So at this junction, I would like to share my opinions regarding this FTP, sir. That is, life is a series of passageways and we are living one and moving on to next. In this journey, Right now, we are moving from offline class to online class practice. Whether it is offline classes or online classes, the inputs that we received during these 3 days FDP session is very useful throughout the lifetime as far as we are in this field, that is teaching field, whether we teach offline or online. I thank you all the resource persons for spending their precious time for these 3 days. Thank you once again, sir. So now I request the participants, if you have any queries, you can ask.
Yeah, this is Dr. Kankipati Srinivas Rao. I would like to express a few of my feelings about this session. Sir, you have given an elaborate presentation on various issues related to the conduct of studies and for the PhD, preparation of PhD thesis, conduct of study for preparation of PhD thesis, and conduct of studies for various problems and issues. You have given an elaborate inputs, insights to all the faculty members, those who are doing, many of the participants are research scholars might be, and some others are, the faculty members, as you said, research faculty, senior faculty members are there in this eminent group. And all these, the inputs that you have given is very elaborative, and no doubt, I'm confident these inputs will be very much useful. And you're talking about the funding agencies. The funding agencies, in fact, I too not know some of the funding agencies. Because of your insights, I too came to know now there are many huge number of the funding agencies. Usually, the participants, the researchers doesn't know what are the funding agencies that are available in the present situations, or so of course, since so long back, there are many funding agencies which are financing for various research activities. But people doesn't know about different types of the funding agencies, not only for social sciences, pure sciences, life sciences. There are many funding agencies, as you said. It is a great awareness to all the faculty members here and to the participants as well. So the significance of, you talked about the significance of report writing pages are not the criteria for preparation of the report and all that. It's wonderful. The only thing is we have to address the problem and the solution that are going to be offered in the project or in the thesis. That is very important. That you have told rightly, very rightly. It was really impressive, and in fact, it is 100% correct. And the purpose, you talk about the purpose of the research project and all that. What are the objectives, how to design the objectives, what is the importance of review of literature in framing the objectives and all that. Gaps are to be, how to identify the gaps with the help of review literature and all that. You have given an excellent, elaborative information, which definitely, undoubtedly, it will be helpful to all the participants. I'm confidently telling that this session is very, very lively, and you have conducted very nicely, so much of inputs and the information that you have provided. And you talked about the research methods, what are the research methods to be identified, what are the research methods that the researcher has to follow, how to identify, how to assess the sample size, how to determine the sample size out of the population. These are all the things, is very, very important. People doesn't know about all those things. And these are all really an excellent inputs. I hope definitely these are all things will be helpful to the research scholars and for the senior faculty also, whoever is engaged in the research activities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Rao, for your motivational words. And you are also in turn motivated the scholars and faculty members.
Thank you very much.
Any more from other scholars, faculty members, senior professors? I think some of the senior professors also joined.
Sir, this is Dr. Satyanarayan speaking.
Yeah.
Actually, the session was excellent all the 3 days.
Thank you.
Yeah, actually the inputs that were given for the faculty the previous day, that was by Dr. Kankipati, was really gap filling for the faculty.
Good.
And it was excellent that he has given so many inputs for the faculty purpose.
Yes.
Other than that, today, actually, all the researchers, especially those who are just doing their in the process of joining the PhD, or those who are in process of doing PhD, this is an excellent actually so many given actually how they should go about the research, various that you should follow for research purpose, and especially the chapterization part from the beginning to the end, and the conclusion part and the objectives and how to frame the abstract. All these things, they are very excellent inputs actually, which are well known by so many maybe people or students or faculty who are into the research, but they don't know a lot. For them, you have given an excellent input through this, sir. And this is an excellent session of the 3-day FDP session. Even the first day FDP session, I could not join, but I have gone through. That was a technical session, but I have gone from the through that session also, and she has excellent inputs in that for the faculty, how to actually analytical skills for the how to develop for the students' purpose by the faculty. All the things that were given, those things were also excellent. And on the whole, this whole FDP is an excellent thing. And thank you very much, sir. This is Dr. Satyanarayana speaking. I wanted to especially thank Dr. Malyaji sir, as I was, he was my guide during my research. Okay, I have done my research in customer service in airline industry. Okay, so for that, Dr. Malyaji sir has guided me entirely through my project, and he was the light for my project. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. This is an excellent.
I request all the participants, please raise the questions. Please raise the questions, or any doubts, any queries you have, you please raise it.
Hello.
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 Yeah,
Hello.
Dr. Prakash.
Yes. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Oh, fine, thank you.
Hope you remember me.
Yeah, Professor.
Now I've finished my PhD. Now I'm doing my PDF from American University.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Now the topic of the discussion is very interesting. Clinical death is not end of life.
Oh, wonderful words.
So the basic concerns of all human beings, you see, whether life exists after life or it ends with the life, you see, that after death. That I am doing it now.
Oh.
So some other time I'll just come and talk to you and ask your help also.
Yeah, sure.
Yesterday, the gentleman who spoke to me, I saw him, Dr. Kanapati. You see, his hairstyle is very nice, sir. He's a very handsome person.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your compliment.
So some other time I'll come and join you, sir. Thank you. Bye, sir. Bye.
He's nearby sea. That's why he's looking good.
Yeah, he's basically a very nice human being, sir. I met him in some conferences. He's a nice human being. See, one thing about me, about you is that, see, you have got depth in explanation. See, that's where it lacks very among a lot of the academicians.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your motivational words.
No, really, sir. This I will quote in my workshops also. I am conducting a workshop. I'm a chairman of Life Celebrations. I will definitely tell about you in my workshops, and that will motivate other people how to do research work in a proper format and proper template. Thank you so much. Always take care. Bye, sir.
Thank
you.
Bye.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Dr. Rao.
Yeah, sir. Sir, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful session. Really, you have presented very well, sir.
Thank you.
and very informative, and you have given very enormous information.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, is really, I am proud to be your scholar.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Vidyadhar Rao. He is a senior superintendent of Central Excise, Government of India. He did a PhD in the Department of Management at Kanchi University under my guidance. Thank you, Dr. Rao.
Thank you so much, sir.
It is out of your academic interest, even though you are in Government of India in other department, other
Yes,
than the
sir.
academic. It shows your
It is
commitment towards academics. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. It's my privilege to be participated with you in many
Thank you.
conferences, seminars.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any more from participants, at least from one research scholar or from a senior member? Some senior professors also there.
Sir, most of the participants are asking for PPTs, sir. They're very informative. That's why most of the members are chatting with about the PPTs, sir.
Yeah, we will definitely, I will definitely make it a PDF and we'll share it. Any more to discuss? If you are having any doubts, it is a pleasure for me to interact through my WhatsApp number. Research is my passion. You can interact or you can ask any issues, any guidance. You are most welcome. Either through email or WhatsApp number. Make a note of it. That's why for visibility I kept it.
Here is a question from Zoom chart. She is Bhuvaneshwari C. She is asking that, sir, I am doing PhD in the title of behavior factors. How to affect investment? These circumstances, I will read articles or view of literature or market watch.
Pardon?
Bhuvaneshwari, she is asking a question through chat, Zoom chat, sir. I am doing PhD in the title of behavior factors. How to affect investment? These circumstances, I will read articles or view of literature or market watch. That is the question, sir, she is asking.
Okay. Because at this juncture, she may not be able to meet the investors because of pandemic situation. She can adopt the questionnaire method instead of scheduled method. She can mail it and collect the information, collect the primary data. And finally, she can analyze and interpret, prepare the report. That's all. To supplement Dr. Srinivasa Rao, can you say anything?
Yeah. Because there is no, as you said, in the pandemic situations nowadays, the researcher cannot meet, as you said, the investors. But as a matter of fact, the researcher have to go through the review of literature, recent review of literature. That is the first thing, and the second thing is journals, articles, and all that have to go through. And as and when the situations permits, the researcher can meet the investors and can get the primary data, primary information from them, and that will be helpful at present situations. We can do that much as a researcher for PhD or any report writing or any project. That much can be done. So review of literature is a must. Whether the situation it's not the situation whether it is good or bad. But review of literature, one should do it. One should go for review of literature, have to go through it, different latest review of literatures, because those latest review of literature, enable the researcher to prepare the objectives with the help of gaps. So the gaps have to be found out. That's very important for any research project or thesis, whatever it is. The gaps have to be found out with the help of review of literature. Review of literature helps the researcher to find out the objective, to find out the gaps, on the basis of that, then objectives can be formulated. So my suggestion is review of literature have to go through, and the journals and other, the journals, articles, review articles, all those things normally have to go through it and get the information from that and think about it. And you prepare the objectives accordingly. So that's what my opinion about it.
Okay, thank you. Next, any more so that we will conclude?
Sir, one question, sir.
Yeah, Dr. Satyanarayan.
Sir, how to actually to start? Actually, I am very much interested in research. Can you just throw light on how and where we can start our research? You have just shown a lot of funding agencies and a lot of other things, and how which are the areas you have shown. There are a lot of areas where we can do the research. Actually, I have done in customer services in airline industry, but I am interested in social science research or whichever research it is. So can you throw light on maybe how to start and how to go about it?
See, I always recommend the scholars about the research activities that don't always be confined in one area or one subject. Suppose you have done on customer perception, that is related to marketing, right? Don't be full stop confined into marketing. You switch over to HRM. So here there is a need of interdisciplinary research. Where there is interdisciplinary research, definitely you can come out with good inputs. That is required. Now ICSSR supports the interdisciplinary research. A commerce man or management man, he always speaks about debits and credits with regard to commerce. With regard to management, he speaks about the management issues. Forget about management issues. Forget about debit credit. Both to be collaborated with economics, with sociology.
Yes, sir.
Right? So that you may be able to identify a new areas, new avenues, new source, and you can come out with good deliberations, good inputs, and you may be able to provide good suggestions for policymakers. So, as you said, begin your research by identifying the topics which are related to latest. Suppose we are in pandemic situation.
Yeah, regarding COVID.
How you may be able to manage finance during the pandemic situation. That is a financial management. How you may be able to develop rural areas. That is related to sociology. How you may be able to develop urban areas. Mix up, mingle the issues, arrive and derive a single title. Start research. Connect with the pandemic. Connect with COVID. Come out with good deliberations. That is the research nowadays. Okay, Dr. Satyanarayan.
Sir, thank you very much, sir. That was excellent inputs for us.
Thank you.
Dr. Mala Dikshit, she raised her hand. Can you ask the question?
Huh?
Dr. Mala Dikshit.
Doctor?
Mala Dikshit, she raised her hand, sir.
From which, please introduce Dr. Mala Dikshit. Please introduce and raise the issue.
Sir, here is a question from Prem Shankar Tiwari. He wants to know the word limit of report writing. Sir?
Yeah, it's a wonderful question. As I told with regard to thesis or the project report, There is no word limit. There is a page limit. There is no word limit, but there is a page limit. As I said already, don't go beyond 250 pages. You may confine 220 or 250, up to 250 is enough. More than that, not required. Because if you are going on writing something, it may lead to plagiarism, more percentage of plagiarism. What are the actual findings? What is the empirical evidence? What is your analysis? What is your interpretations? That's all. In previous days, for a research study, some chapters related to profile of an industry. Now it is removed. No need to write. Profile of industry. Suppose you are conducting a study of a particular study. Say for example, the morale of employees in BHEL. That is a study. Previous days about BHEL profile, there is a one chapter. What is the need about profile of the BHEL? It is waste. That should be avoided. So that you may be concise and you are related to, you are pertaining to empirical evidence. What are the evidence you got it through employees? Because employees are the respondents. So therefore, what I suggest is your PhD thesis or a project report must be between 200 and 250 pages. That's all. I need not say about I need not say about the words. I will say that about the pages. That's all. Anybody?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. My PhD topic is artificial intelligence in agriculture sector for food security.
Introduce yourself.
Sir, I'm Afreen Sultana. I'm a research scholar and a lecturer also. My research topic is artificial intelligence in agriculture sector for food security.
Yeah.
So how should be my research design should be effective?
No, that requires more time to discuss. This is not the platform to discuss.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
See, your research design may be prepared in consultation with your research supervisor. You discuss about what are the aspects you are going to take and what are the investigational issues you are going to take up and what are the objectives, how many objectives you are supposed to take and methodological issues. These are all the different issues comes under the research design that you can discuss with your research supervisor and finalize. I cannot say in this platform.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Here is a question from Sureka Adiki. She is asking that if impact factor is high, will that means the article is quality one?
Yes. If the impact factor is high, definitely that journal quality is high. The quality articles are there in that journal. That is more impact factor. Any more? In YouTube chat, is there any questions?
No, sir, there is no any questions.
No questions. Okay. Shall we wind up?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Now I call I Radhika Madam, coordinator of this FDP, to give her closing remarks regarding this FDP, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. I am I Radhika, lecturer in commerce, Social Welfare Degree College, Warangal West, organizing coordinator for this 3 days program, FDP program. When I joined in this college, I don't have even simple knowledge on these soft technical skills. No one is perfect, but everybody should be on continuous learning by improving themselves and coping up with the emerging technical knowledge skills. Even though now I am able to host this FDP program, On the first day of this program, due to some technical problems in YouTube streaming, for that feeling very sorry, and also thanking Dr. Malyadri sir for his wonderful cooperation to coping all of us and backing us to successful completion of this FDP program. In this way, heartfully thanking you, sir. Once again, thanking you, Dr. Malyadri sir, Dr. Sumati ma'am, and Dr. Kankipadi Srinivas Rao sir, and the Honorable Secretary of DSWRDC Society, Dr. R.S. Praveen Kumar sir, and our beloved principal, Dr. G. Shankarnath sir, and all our staff, and mostly prefer of each and every participant of this program. I'm so thankful to all the faculty members of Commerce Department from DSWRDC Warangal West. Thanking you, sir, once again, and congratulating all the participants, and thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Now I call Afrin Sultana madam to propose vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to one and all. I'm honored to take this opportunity to vote of thanks to those who have directly or indirectly contributed to this FDP, and I'm very fortunate to provide a vote of thanks to all of you. Actually, our FDP program is started on the topic of skill development in academic research. At the outset, we are very thankful to our Honorable Secretary Sir and R.S. Praveen Kumar Sir, and Joint Secretary Dr. Praveen Mamidala Sir, who continuously encourage us for conducting such FDPs. And I would like to express our profound gratitude to our OSD Dr. A. Bhanu Prasad Sir and Zonal Coordinator North Zone of Professor K. Om Prakash for their guidance in conducting such programs. I'm extremely indebted to our eminent speaker, those who are given a 3 days very good and extremely enriching our knowledges for 3 days session. The first day session was started with our Professor M. Sumati ma'am, Head Department of Commerce, Bharatiyan University, Coimbatore, and the madam taught about the topic is skill development through industry 4.0. It describes about a industry 4.0 describes the industry throughout automation, and as well as Indian education sector is ready to accepting new innovative things using technologies in education sector. So today's first day session is a very effective, and it's very useful for the education system, how it is moving towards the industrial sectors. And the second day session, which was started by our sir, the sir name is Dr. Prof. P. Malyadri sir, sorry, Kankipadi Srinivas Rao sir, and he explained us about the session name is mentoring and counseling students leading to skill enhancement. And sir is explained very effectively about to see the holistic development of students, and by mentoring and counseling the students in a holistic sense. That is how to be a student, okay, how the mentor should monitor the skills of the students, and how the relationship should be maintained, and what are the counseling techniques should be adopted. In this way, the sir is effectively given this session very, very useful for the as a lecturers, those who are in this profession. This FDP session is very useful. And the third day session, which was started with the Dr. P. Malyadri sir, he is an ICSSR Senior Fellow, Center for Social and Economic Studies of Hyderabad. And the sir, today's session is a very useful, especially on a research and as well as for a PhD scholars. The sir is discussed about report writing skills and for research projects, and as well as how our PhD thesis will be, and about what about the research gaps, review of literature, and the SMART objective, how we should be design our objectives in our thesis, and the plagiarism, how should be deducted, and how we should write articles which article should be defined, which article should be included in our research. In this way, the sir is enlighten our knowledge for doing a PhDs and the research, and those who are in a research field, as well as the person those who are not doing a PhD also. It's very useful session. Thank you, sir. Thank you to all the 3 days session, which was very wonderful sessions. And I would like to thank our beloved principal G. Shankarnath and our vice principal Dr. D. Vijayalakshmi ma'am for their enthusiastic support. I extend a special thanks to teaching and non-teaching staff for their unflinching support and coordination. Last but not least, our heartfelt thanks to all the participants for their active participation, without whom this program would not be successful. Once again, I'm very thankful. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, madam. We appreciate all the participants for being here for these 3 days, for attending this faculty development program. Thank you, one and all, once again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sabita ma'am,
Madam.
shall I end the session?
Shirisha madam.
We can
Okay,
end the
okay.
session.
Okay, madam.
సరేనా